Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We're going to start this morning with the visible satellite picture with the temperatures and dew points already overlaid. And as you can see, it's 9:30 a.m. and it's already 81 degrees. In some locations, the dew points are already in the upper 60s to lower 70s, which is producing a heat index in the mid to upper 80s. Again, it's only 9:30 in the morning. It looks like we're going to be setting up for a very hot and humid afternoon with temperatures driving into the mid to upper 80s, likely mostly in the upper 80s along the immediate coast. And unfortunately everywhere else, lower to mid 90s. And I would not be surprised if the Philadelphia metropolitan area, specifically around southwestern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania, ends up pushing into the mid to upper 90s in a few locations. And of course, with the high levels of humidity, that also means that the heat index is going to be pushing above 100 degrees. So if you have any outdoor activities, use extreme caution, drink plenty of water, and if you're starting to feel a little dizzy, a little faint, a little lightheaded, get inside and get in the air conditioning and cool off a little bit, because these temperatures can have a significant impact on your body and could cause heat stroke. So use extreme caution. So with all this heat and humidity, naturally we'll be at the threat for thunderstorms. Well, not exactly. Let me show you the mid-level lapse rate. This is the map as of 9:30 a.m. of the mid-level lapse rate, courtesy of the Storm Prediction Center, which is from the federal government. Now, you might be asking, okay, what does a mid-level lapse rate mean? Well, it's the difference in temperatures from 700 millibars to 500 millibars. In other words, the colder the air is at 500 millibars compared to 700 millibars, the greater the lapse rate and the better potential for a thunderstorm to grow and thus become very intense. Typically, what I'm looking for with a mid-level lapse rate for severe weather is a lapse rate above 6.5 degrees Celsius. And as you can see on the map, we're falling below 6 degrees Celsius. Now, what does this mean? Well, basically what it's saying is that the atmosphere at the mid-levels is very warm. And if the atmosphere at the mid-levels, at 700 to 500 millibars, is warm, that means thunderstorms can't grow. And as a result, since they can't grow, they can't really develop or become very intense. So this will likely be called a cap in the atmosphere and prevent thunderstorms from developing. However, with strong enough lifting, this cap could be broken for a few isolated thunderstorms, producing very significant severe weather for a few isolated locations. So let's go back to the visible satellite picture and take a wider look of what we're dealing with this afternoon. So here we are back again at the visible satellite picture as of 9:30 a.m. and as you can see, we have a cold front approaching from the Ohio Valley. Now, in reality, the air mass behind this cold front as far as temperatures really doesn't change all that much. We fall back into the mid to upper 80s for highs, but still we're dealing with a relatively warm air mass. The big change here is the dew points. The dew points behind this cold front are going to crash very significantly tonight, and you'll certainly feel the difference this evening as this dry air moves in. So this cold front is going to approach this afternoon, and again, I can't rule out a few isolated thunderstorms, and if these thunderstorms become severe, they could produce very heavy rainfall, strong wind gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour, frequent lightning, some large hail, and yes, there is an outside chance of a tornado, but I really wouldn't bet for that to happen. Overall, what we can experience for most locations is a very sunny, hot, humid day with no relief whatsoever until this evening when this cold front moves through. Otherwise, there could be an isolated thunderstorm. So that's pretty much the whole story for today. So will this heat and humidity remain and continue to plague us the rest of the week? Well, the good news is no. Like I said, the humidity will drop off tonight, and then we move into a much more tranquil weather pattern for the rest of the week. This is the European model guidance from the Penn State E-Wall for tomorrow evening, and as you can see, high pressure over the Great Lakes is building towards the northern Mid-Atlantic, Expect clear skies tomorrow, low humidity, but temperatures remaining relatively hot, with highs in the mid-80s along the immediate coast because of the sea breeze, and upper 80s to lower 90s over the rest of the northern mid-Atlantic. So yes, humidity will be a lot lower, but the temperatures will still be hot, and you could still go down to the beach. That won't be a problem whatsoever with this cooler air mass. Now, this high pressure system is going to remain controlled through the weekend. The difference, though, is that for Thursday and for the morning of Friday morning basically, this high pressure system will be to the west of the northern mid-Atlantic, which means that we're going to be under a northwesterly flow and low humidity. So overall, temperatures will be comfortable in the afternoon, evening, and in the morning. However, once this high pressure system moves off the coast on Friday afternoon through this weekend, the heat and humidity will return with it on a south to southwesterly wind. So expect temperatures once again to remain in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Could possibly push a few mid 90s over the Philadelphia metropolitan area on Saturday and Sunday, with dew points returning into the mid to upper 60s, possibly a few lower 70s. So again, a hazy, hot, and humid weekend can be expected. Perfect time to go down to the beach. Any change in this weather pattern whatsoever? Well, I don't think so. This is the 500 millibar pattern on the European model guides for next Thursday. See any difference? No, neither do I. We continue to have an upper level low sitting over eastern Canada. It migrates from basically the Canadian Maritimes back to the Hudson Bay and back towards the Canadian Maritimes again. It's been doing that for over a week, and when the upper level low dips a little bit further south, we get a little bit stronger cold front move through. But really, in the end, there really isn't much of a change in the pattern because these cold fronts are transporting a Pacific air mass that moderates or warms rapidly. So we really don't see a major change at all in this pattern. And with a ridge remaining supplanted over parts of the southeast coast, back to the plains, the heat and humidity will be here and here with a vengeance. I would not be surprised if we see a few days once again next week in the mid to upper 90s for many locations. So if you are basically looking to get away from this heat, try Maine or northern Canada. Other than that, it's going to be hot and humid throughout much of the East Coast with this pattern in place. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA weather as your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. Of course, if any severe weather does develop, you can trust in NYNJPA weather, providing the latest coverage via Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and of course at nynjpaweather.com. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.